Hello, Tianna. How's everything?
Hi. Everything's good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us on the program. So let's get right to it. You're born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. I know you had a unique background, but much of your upbringing was in Las Vegas. So tell our audience, what was your upbringing like in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so I actually was born, I was born in Kansas, but I've lived in Vegas for about, going on 15 years now. And my family moved to Vegas from Washington State after my dad retired from the Army. So, I really owe everything, the sacrifices made by my parents. I owe everything to them for moving us to a neighborhood here to attend the really good schools, even when they couldn't afford it. So, I just made sure to always keep that in the back of my head, that their sacrifices were worth it. And, just me being a part of as much as I could throughout the city and just kind of gaining my independence here. And, Vegas is either good to you or it's not, and Vegas has been really good to me. So, I'm really happy to be here.
All right, fair enough. And let's stay with more of about you growing up now. Were you a sports fan or a boxing fan growing up?
So I grew up always playing sports, but I wasn't really into watching it all that much. I loved volleyball. Volleyball was my life, and I still use it as an outlet. And as I grew older, I really came to appreciate professional athletics and what it takes to be really successful in this industry. So I can now say that I'm a huge boxing fan. I tried a boxing class for exercise, and it is hard. I don't know if you've ever tried one, but I have so much respect for these guys who get up here and fight the way they do.
Yeah, Tianna, just want to piggyback off of what you say. Boxing is the ultimate sport of skill and will, and you have to really be dedicated to the craft. I mean, it's the rewards are very brutal, but at the same token, it's very sweet because it's a potential income earner right there. If you're blessed and you're lucky to be able to do it. So now, something that's also unique about you is that beauty pageants. How were you introduced to the world of beauty pageants?
Yeah, so I discovered pageantry as a means to pay for my education. I was projected to play collegiate sports, but then I injured my knees, so that prevented me from doing that. So I had to find another way to pay for my education. So I competed in my first pageant in 2014 as a freshman in college and won that. But it's been a journey full of wins and losses, and I would 1,000% do it all over again. But it was definitely my into paying for college, and it just became a huge thing for me to do.
Okay, let's continue with pageants for a moment. Now, you achieved a great feat. In 2019, you won the MissNevadaUSA pageant, and you became the first Samoan woman to win the MissNevada pageant. So with winning the pageant, what message does this send to not only Samoan women, but women of color?
I think it's another reinstated fact that as a woman of color, there is no limit as much as limits try to be put on us. I wouldn't have been afforded the opportunities I've been given had it not been for women of color before me that have made strides in the entertainment industry. So I just hope to be exactly that for any woman or young lady who decide they want to pursue a long-time dream or even something they thought of pursuing just yesterday. It's that saying, it breaks the glass ceiling and just keep going.
All right, let's stay with pageants for a moment. I'm going to mention a name you may be familiar with, CheslieKryst. Now, CheslieKryst was, yep, that's right. Chesley was a former Miss USA. So I wanted to know, what was your experience like being with her and the other contestants in the Miss USA pageant?
One unique takeaway about being a part of the Miss team is that we are all really, really close. And it's something that a lot of the other classes have told us that is a very special thing that we have. It's a true sisterhood because in pageantry, no one can really understand the unique feelings that are attached to the experience but the women who are surrounding you. And Chesley was the best pick to be our Miss USA. During the competition, she was super low-key and stayed mostly to herself, but when the time came, she really owned that stage. No one was meant to win that crown that night but her. She's really an inspiration for all of us.
Rightfully so. I want to stay with just the aura of beauty pageants. Some people may say that beauty pageants, there's a misconception of it as being an aesthetic thing, and it is aesthetic. You know, it's a beauty pageant, and the women are looking very gorgeous, and they're being asked questions about what, you know, how would they change the world and things of that nature. But for someone that is on the outside looking in, how would you describe the process of a beauty pageant? And because people may say, oh, they're just up there just, you know, showcasing beauty, but there's more to this. Can you explain to our audience about that?
Yeah, you know, pageants really started as a means to pay for education. There's so many different platforms, the Miss America pageant, Miss USA, Miss Earth, World, it goes on. Part of the prize package when you do win are scholarship money or job opportunities. So pageantry is really just another way for women to have a platform to do whatever they want to do, whether you can be in construction as a woman and make that happen for yourself, or if you want to be in the entertainment industry, you can make something happen, and the networking opportunities that are attached to that as well. So it's not, I get what what the stereotype is, but there's so much more beyond looking good, because we only really look good when we're on stage. Behind the scenes is a lot more grueling with training and learning how to speak in public, and there's just a lot that goes into it.
All right. Well, speaking of looking good, you look very good doing your thing with TopRankBoxing.
Thank
How did you find out about Well, you're welcome. How did you find out about Top Rank?
So I was reached out by my coordinator who manages the girls, and I believe Top Rank was looking to diversify our team a little bit. So I was given my first opportunity to work with them during a Terrence Crawford fight, and the rest was history after that, and I proudly became a part of the Top Rank family. So, yeah.
All right, let's stay with Top Rank for a moment. You know, one of the cool elements about boxing, of course, we talked earlier about the fighters and the training and things of that nature. And, of course, the crowds at boxing matches are second to none. But I think also a key element of a boxing match is the ring girl. Can you describe the duties to the audience about your duties of being a Top Rank ring girl?
Yeah, I kind of like to... What the president of Top Rank likes to refer to us as, we're called brand ambassadors. So we're really just an extension of the advertising and marketing teams in ways, because we have a helping hand in outreach, both on social media and in person, but of course in our own little special knockout way. So we're just more hands-on than the boxers can be, because they're focused on fighting and, what they have to do. But we're pretty much in there with the fans and just bringing awareness and attention to whichever fight is happening that night.
So let's talk a little bit about your musical endeavors. How long have you been singing?
Oh, man, all my life, but I've just had so many different opportunities in regards to where money-making comes in that I never was focused on music. So now that I'm done with, pageantry and I've built up this network, I can finally start using my resources and focus on it. So, there's a lot of songwriting going on and just a lot of ideas being thrown around.
How would you describe your musical style?
Oh, R&B all the way. I love R&B. That's what I'm listening to.
Well, while we're on the subject of R&B, again, you were raised in Las Vegas. Were you a big fan of a group called 702?
Oh, yes, of course.
Who are you currently listening to right now?
I kind of go with the trends just to see what I'm up against. So, of course, Ariana Grande. I'm really like R&B pop. So Ariana Grande, Christina Aguilera has been my favorite singer since I was probably like 7 years old. A lot of more EDM-y, poppy musicians, just to kind of see what's out there. But I'm like an old school listener. I love the Mariah Careys, the Brandys, Monica's, all of that.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome to hear. Now, I'm going to get back to boxing just for a brief minute. I want to ask you,
Sure.
Since you've been associated with Top Rank, what are some of your favorite arenas some of your favorite cities that you've enjoyed going to?
Ooh, that's a good question. I really enjoyed Atlantic City, which is weird to say because I don't know if a lot of people even go there anymore, but the hotel we stayed in was beautiful, and we had such a good time there. I enjoyed Omaha because we kind of ventured into Lincoln, Nebraska as well, and I just thought it was such a cute town. I love going to the random places I would never think of going. Like, we went to Minnesota, and that was pretty cool as well. But I think one of my most favorite has to be Madison Square in New York City, because it's Madison Square.
Tell me, what was the atmosphere like with Omaha? Because we know, of course, Terrence Crawford is from there, and he's one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. What was the atmosphere like in Omaha?
Because we come from Vegas, so I'm used to being in a bigger city and with, a little bit crazier audiences. It's just a hometown feel there, and you can feel the love, especially when someone like a Terrence Crawford is in the ring and they're fighting for their hometown. It just feels so much more family-oriented, if that makes sense. And I love that. I loved it. And plus the town is just so completely different than what I'm used to.
Okay, that's awesome to hear. And now, Tianna, where can people find you on social media? And if you have a website, let them know that as well.
Yeah, I'm only on Instagram, so you can just search my name, Tianna Tumahiloa. Hopefully you get close enough to spelling my last name to find me, but if not, I'm tagged all over the TopRankBoxing page as well, so you can just find me there.
Well, you heard it from her. She is a TNG model and a top-ranked ring girl. Check her out on TopRankBoxing. Tianna, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime. Thank you once again, Tianna. But again, before I let you go, can you say something in Samoan for our listeners before we head on out of here?
Oh, sure. Talofa. That means goodbye. Talofa.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.